So you want to know how the whole cold call process works? Well, that's what I'm going to be explaining in this video, alongside why choosing the right niche for your cold calling is so important, and how it implements into what kind of business you get, and as well as how many clients you get and how many clients you retain. That is also another really important point. By choosing the right niche, you retain more clients, but more on that later. So the simple cold call process, the way that it works, is there are many ways to find businesses to call. Obviously you call businesses, or you can call perhaps even individuals, maybe it's an online fitness coach, etc. But the way you can find them is either through Instagram. If it's like an online fitness coach, that's the best place to kind of find influencers, online fitness coaches, anyone that does that sort of niche and that sort of work. And then if you're going on to more B2B, which is business to business, which is, your service businesses, where maybe it's cleaning, maybe it's car washing, anything like that, the best place to get started, I would recommend, is going on Google and just searching car washers in my area, or choose a given area that you know well, or you can work with. That is also a great option, and probably the best option to start with for beginners. So there are many ways you can get leads or find people to call. You can do that by lead scraping, you can do phone number, you can pay for a list of phone numbers. But I would recommend, when first starting out, the best place to go to is on Google, and to be searching for Google business profiles, anything like that, that is in your niche. Now, when you find them, you call them and you put together your offer. Now, the current offer that we're running at the Rise Up Agency is that we're going to get you 8 highly qualified leads for free, and until we do that, it will be for free. Even after the 8 leads have been received, you don't pay anything. We don't take commissions off them, nothing like that. That is the offer that we're currently running. But you don't just straight away introduce that offer when you cold call them. You need to say, hello, how are you? Start a bit of rapport maybe with them on the phone, not too long, if not they'll get bored and just hang up. But you don't go straight in with your offer, whatever that offer may be. So the way that I would do it, and the way that I'm currently doing it, is I call up the business, say good morning or good afternoon, good evening, how are you, talking to whoever I'm talking to, and then they say hello, I'm good thanks, or whatever they respond with, and from there you take it through to the thing of introducing your offer, but you don't actually mention it. You tell them that you're about to offer them something in a way that gets them intrigued, and not like every other salesperson that they get, and every call they get 500 times a day. So a way that I found that often works currently is you call them up, you say good morning, how are you, say their name, their business name, anything like that, and then say, I'm sure you get 500 of these calls every single day, but if I could steal 20 seconds of your time, I'd be more than honoured. And I found that actually works quite well. They say, yeah, go on then. And if they listen to you, obviously if they listen to your offer, the more likely they are to do it. If you never get through to your offer, then you stand 0% chance of actually landing a client or working with them. So that is the cold call process. You find their phone number, you go onto the Google business profile, call it, or if you get phone number scraping or any other way you generate your prospects, you go on there, you call them, you say, start with a bit of rapport, hello, how are you, rather than just jumping in with, I've got an offer for you straight away. Build a bit of rapport, you introduce that you're about to offer them something. If they want to continue, offer them something, and from there you continue. If they sound interested, you say, can I take a minute to explain a little bit how it all works? If they say yes, and they are probably quite interested and perhaps want to work with you in the future. Otherwise it will just be a straight no, and they'll probably want to leave the call quite quickly, as they do get, like I said, 500 of these every single day, and that is the most chance you'll get. People will, they are quite bored of these calls, they do get them all the time, and you have to understand that as the caller, and why you need to take their time to actually make the call and make them want to work with you and be interested in what you're offering. So that is another really important thing when it comes to the cold calling. You need to sort of stand out in front of any of the other cold callers that are out there, but you don't need to be really pushy saying, oh, it's a really great offer, oh, this is for free, we're doing a free trial. That is not the way to do it. You don't want to sound desperate, as when you sound desperate, they think that you need the business and you can't be that good if you don't have any clients already or anything like that, so you can't sound desperate. and you can't sound like you've never done this before. You need to sound casual, just like a normal conversation, like you're calling a friend or anything like that. It just needs to be casual and calm, and often the business owner will respect you for that and want to listen to you. Actually, I've heard a few times when I've done the cold calling that, some people have said, good on you, mate, for trying, or whatever, they say good luck with the business and hope it goes well for you, and you can just tell that they actually appreciate the way that you've handled the call, rather than just jumping in straight with, oh, our offer's really good, we've got free trial, we've got free this, free that. That is the way to rush your call and the way to get them not interested and make them want to leave the call as soon as they can. So that is not the way to actually enter the cold call, because like I said, if you sound desperate, then they're not going to want to work with you. They think you don't have many clients, you can't be that experienced. So why would I want to work with you if you're pushy, or some people, may take things the wrong way, they might think you're rude, so that is really not one you want to come across as. You don't want to be rude or pushy. Like I said, you do not want to sound desperate, and that is a really important takeaway and key to cold calling. As like I said, when you sound desperate, they're not going to work with you. So that is the process. You call them, enter your offer, and then you continue if they're interested. If they're interested, you book a video call with them, you get them to learn more, whatever the action is after you make that call. You continue that from there, and that is kind of the process of cold calling summed up. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was picking a niche and why it's so important. Now, you can cold call one cleaner, one carpenter, a plumber, an electrician, all after each other, back to back, but that kind of leaves you in a grey area. As if you know a lot about one niche, let's say you call all cleaners in your area rather than one cleaner, one plumber, one electrician, you know that business well. So if they do want to work with you, and even on the cold call you can talk to them if you know a little bit more than the average person would about that niche, because you've been working with them, or you've decided that's going to be your niche, so you've learnt about it, then on the cold call you can use that into practice and actually say, I have knowledge in this industry, I know how to run ads for you if that's what you're doing, I know how to get people interested in what it is that you're offering, by using, some terms they may use or anything like that. By researching your niche, on the cold call, that really can help. But also during service delivery, as if you have 10 clients and 9 of them are cleaners, then that is a really, really big advantage, as you know the cleaning industry well, and you don't want to copy and replicate your servers across all of the 9 clients out of 10, as obviously that's not the way to do it. You need to personalise each ad, whatever it is that you're producing for them. They do need to be personalised and ensure that they get the personal touch and it's all done properly and not just copy and pasted from one to the other all 9 times. So knowing niche really helps in service delivery and in cold calling, and that is a huge advantage of knowing your niche. As if you were to call a plumber, electrician back to back and you got them all on board, you had 10 clients and all 10 clients were different, you have 10 times the work that you need to do, and that is unnecessary work. I understand if that's kind of the only way to get through it and the only way to do it, but if you know one niche well, then you can decrease your work by 10 times as it compared to doing a plumber, electrician, 10 different niches, all for 10 different clients. So knowing a niche well is a huge advantage, and I very much recommend that when doing cold calling, when doing service delivery, or anything in between, absolutely anything to do with your online clients or social media marketing agency clients. Anything that falls into that category, knowing your niche and picking one niche is a huge advantage, as you get to only know in detail about one thing. And once you've covered that niche and there's no one left in that niche, or if you decide it's time to move on to another one, search a new one, you think there's more opportunity in that particular niche, then sure, go for that. But you need to stick to one and call all those one, know what you're talking about, and especially during service delivery, know what you're doing when it comes to that niche, such as a plumber or electrician, or any industry, any niche that you may be calling. So that is the process of cold calling, and why picking a niche is so important Thank you very much for watching. Remember to take it one step at a time, and I'll see you in the next one.